Okay, and then finishing up day 16 with Genesis 15. After these things, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision. Fear not, Abram, I am your shield. Your reward shall be very great. But Abram said, O Lord God, what will you give me? For I continue childless, and the heir of my house is Eliezer of Damascus. And Abram said, Behold, you have given me no offspring, and a member of my household will be my heir. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him. This man shall not be your heir. Your very own son shall be your heir. And he brought him outside and said, Look toward heaven and number the stars, if you are able to number them. Then he said to him, So shall your offspring be. And he believed the Lord, and he counted it to him as righteousness. George. And he said to them, I am the Lord who brought you out from Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land to possess. But he said, O Lord God, how am I to know that I shall possess it? He said to him, Bring me a heifer 3 years old, a female goat 3 years old, and a ram 3 years old, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he brought him all these, cut them in half, and laid each half over against the other. But he did not cut the birds in half. And when the birds of prey came down on the carcasses, Abram drove them away. As the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell on Abram, and behold, dreadful and great darkness fell upon him. Then the Lord said to Abram, Know for certain that your offspring will be sojourners in a land that is not theirs, and will be servants there, and they will be afflicted for 400 years. But it will bring judgment on the nation that they serve. And afterward they shall come out with great possessions. As for you, you shall go to your fathers in peace. You shall be buried in a good old age, and they shall come back here in the 4th generation, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet complete. When the sun had gone down, and it was dark, behold, a smoking firepot and a flaming torch passed between these pieces. On that day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, To your offspring I give this land, from the river of Egypt to the great river, the river Euphrates, the land of the Kenites, the Kenizzites, the Cadmonites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Rephaim, the Amorites, the Canaanites, and the Girgashites, and the Jebusites. So this this concludes day 16 with Genesis 15. No, don't stop it yet. So the last picture there, where God makes a promise to Abram that he's going to multiply that he's going to give him his first offspring, because him and Sarai were childless. So God made a promise to Abram that he was going to give him all the land, that he was going to have great possessions, and that he was going to um, give him offspring that could not be counted. And at this point, he had none. And Abram believed God. So, oh,
Sorry.
that's okay. Can you straighten that up? So, God was making a covenant with Abram. And in those days, when people would make a covenant, a promise, they would have animals, and they would cut them in half, and they would have a ceremony where they walked together.
Dad?
Wait, I'm still recording. Just wait. So, during this ceremony, the two people would walk together, and they would walk in a circle. They would walk between the things that they were promising over. But in this case, God was making a promise with Abram, and it wasn't an equal promise. God was going to take all of the promise on himself. So that's why he made Abram go to a deep sleep, and God walked through the offering himself in two persons. I'll read it again here. As the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell on Abram, and behold, a dreadful and great darkness fell upon him. And continuing on. When the sun had gone down and it was dark, behold, a smoking firepot and a flaming torch passed between these pieces. So God represented twice by a smoking firepot and a flaming torch.
Dad?
So, I'm still recording. So, God was making a promise with Abram, a covenant. It was a legal contract between Abram and God, but God was not going to place any of the burden on Abram. He was going to fulfill the covenant and fulfill the promises himself twice. So that's why he put Abram to sleep, and why he passed through himself in two forms. So just a little history as I explain it. I'm not a historian, but as I've learned from pastors and teachers, this is what I've interpreted, what they've explained to me. So that's it. That's the conclusion of day 16. We'll see you tomorrow.